So hello, I just wanted to do a vlog, a quick video chit chat, kind of talk about me and where I'm at in my magical practice. It's been an interesting journey for me. I've done pretty much non-stop some form of magic almost every day now for several years. I guess I didn't even realize at the time that I was going through initiations, and there were some definitely difficult moments that I had to go through, a lot of change, major transitions, loss, moving, financial circumstances completely turning upside down, just a lot of stuff. But what's also gone since all that happened are the anxiety attacks, the tension that never goes away in certain parts of the body, the aches and pains and little illnesses that seem to want to crop up, the general malaise, the stuck on a bunch of weird ideas that caused, more weird ideas to come racing in, and then life got difficult. Just thinking about it, some of that tension's coming back, so we're just gonna allow it to come into the body. And now I'm going to let it just come in, do as it will, and then I'm going to just not think about it. I'm not pushing it away. I'm just going to move on to whatever I was going to talk about next. I mean, just to give my backstory, because now that I'm, initiated, I suddenly love myself, which is all probably the most best part of the whole thing that I'm going to have to continue to pursue, because that's not a place a lot of us ever get to. And trust me, I know. So for me to get there, even in a small dose, is, in my opinion, proof that magic works. But that's just me. I'm just saying. So, I really didn't make any progress magically per se until I started taking courses. Jason Miller's Hecate course really helped me a lot, realized just how much I freaking didn't know or understand. So that made me, not in a large way, I'm not a scholar, I'm terrible at doing homework, but for me, I delved a little bit deeper. I started learning more about what all this magic was about and where it came from. And when I initially was focused on witchcraft, candles, spells, and pick a goddess, but I wasn't doing ritual magic, much. I mean, I had in the past. I went through the first 40 pages of Michael Craig's book. I got to the LBRP, and I did my morning sun and salutations, whatever that was called, and it just didn't really change anything in my life in a way that resonated back then. So I kind of moved away from the whole ceremonial magic thing. It was too masculine, too linear, too analytical, not enough, it didn't resonate sometimes it did, but not always. And it just seemed like, I've been doing this for a year and a half, and I don't feel like I'm any better off than I was when I started. Kind of basically, you had one of those moments, that epiphany, and it's just like you broke up with it. That's what happened to me. I broke up with ceremonial magic, but then when I joined Jason Miller's course, it was there again. You had a circle, he called it a mandala, whatever, but you had porters, and you had your spirits that you called from the various places, and there was all this mythology attached to all of them that I didn't really know, right? I'm not educated enough in the occult, and it was really bothering me. I felt, very like I missed the whole first grade and second grade regarding magical studies, so I needed to go back and refresh in my own way, which I was did for a while. And then I got into, and I don't really want to talk about it because I just don't want to talk about it, but I got into another form of magic, and I did that for a while. Too pulled in by it, like I was losing my sovereignty. I didn't want to go that way, so I backed away, and apparently you can do that. So far, I haven't had any repercussions, although I was a little worried about that for a while. But never to discuss that in any format publicly. Moving on to the next thing. So then I started this YouTube channel, very vaguely, very without a purpose. I did a few videos that the magic I was doing at the time. It was fun to do. Got a lot of views, for me on those. Never really moved forward with it because, for whatever reason, I wasn't really that into it. I tried it, I did videos on it, kind of worked, but then it didn't again. So I moved on, did something else, whatever. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But even then, I remember doing a servitor, which was great, and I missed this servitor. I put so much into it. I spent days and weeks getting all the right stuff and figuring out what I was going to wear. It was like I was getting married. I had to lose weight for this event. I had to, I remember how to do face makeup again, and I had to make myself feel pretty. I had to do all these things I wasn't doing it, because that was what the servitor was for. I won't tell you her name, but her purpose was to help me feel pretty. She was my glamour servitor, my self-esteem, the carnal. Like if you looked at the Tommy Kelly 40 servants deck, that would be, that was the kind of servitor that I had created, and it was part of my life for a while, and then it just wasn't, and then it got moved and put away and out of sight, out of mind, and I think I found it again in this last big move, and I just put it in a box with other magic stuff to be looked at in the future, but not anytime soon, because its current circumstances don't allow certain things, and therefore they are not going to be pursued, because I don't take those kinds of risks for no good reason. Because there's plenty of other things I can do to get into trouble that are a lot safer. So anyhow, not to belabor or elaborate or even make you wonder what the heck I'm talking about, because maybe I'm just writing fiction, which I do and have been doing, and that's the magic that I want to talk about, because ever since I really committed to working on one book, I hadn't published anything for a while. Long story short, I just haven't been able to publish anything for a while, and really want to, but every time I sat down to write, I got stuck on one book, so I moved to the next, and I found I had 30 unfinished novels, all in various states, and all of them a mess. I would try writing and just screw up one book and then go screw up the next, and it was like this constant struggle to get anywhere. And then one day I decided with magic to make that my commitment, and I used the course that I took. I was in the first group, lucky me, to be in Rufus Opus's course on conjuration of the 7 spheres, to release everything to help you get a specific goal. It was like a prosperity conjuration, and that's what I did. And for that entire period of time, which went on for several months, I have not written on any other book. I'm working on just the one. Yes, it's a nightmare. Yes, I've gone too far with it, but it's 600 pages. So, one of these days I'm going to winnow it down into something I can publish, but at least it's the same book, and I won't write any others. I haven't written any other books. I haven't tried to go into the others and mess with them, as a palate cleanser. If I want a palate cleanser, I can watch fiction. That's another thing. I'm not reading fiction. I don't get to read other people's fiction unless it's specifically to find some technique or whatever I recalled they had in phrasing words or something that I wanted to see if I can understand their pacing or something. Maybe I could do that, which I haven't yet, but that's the only option. I can't go and read somebody else's book just because I love their writing style, to get lost in that book and another piece of fiction. The only piece of fiction I can work on that's in written format, whether it's being read to me via Kindle to text or through Audible, MS Words, Voices, David, Zira, and Michael or Mark, something with an M. those three voices. Used to be a better one. She's gone. I think she was the one that did the Janet Ivanovich books and wrote a book about being a narrator, which I read, which was great. I recognized that voice, and for a minute we got to have her read back our words from that we wrote in Microsoft Word. It made me feel like a movie star was working for me, because those were my words and she was reading them back to me, and when the words were beautiful, which they sometimes are, I feel so good. That was magic, right? That was magic. And so the point being, my sigil is to, I kind of didn't quite work out because I was going to have it done in that month, but I got to a point where I had to turn it into a 5-book series, but at least I'm moving forward with the same book, and for me that's magical. And it's not like I have to finish this to make a living or anything. So I'm just allowing it to kind of, the process to just come out of me, because it's creativity, and it's getting bigger, and it's becoming more, and I'm having too much fun letting it just sort of blow up on me, that in a chaos magic kind of way, I'm going to consider it my self-created grimoire that I'm making my own path to get to an endpoint, which I haven't quite defined, but it involves having this project completed, getting covers made, writing all the introductions, blah, 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 getting it published, doing some form of marketing, so it's not just thrown out there with all the other AI books that are being written, because mine won't be AI, but I'll be competing with them, and who knows, it's just going to be not at all like it used to be, where you can automatically be assured of some immediate success just from putting something out there, if it's a romance, and as long as you promise sex in it. I haven't decided about those scenes. That's another story. I'm not thinking about that right now. That's not happening right now. I don't have to worry about that right now. I'm not in the writing mode right now. I'm in the frickin' fixing mode, and that's terrible for me, because I am struggling with that. But I can work on that. I can find magical ways to work on that. I can identify the problem, and I can decide if it is a problem, and then I can ask for my magical helpers to assist me in deciding how I should proceed. Because maybe the problem isn't so bad, because if I hadn't been allowing all this to happen, if I hadn't been, letting it sort of go crazy and explode and become bigger than it was meant to be originally, it was supposed to be, I'm not even going to say it was like 40 pages. It's going to be a short insta-love romance, okay? That was the goal. That's how it started. The same characters are now in this 600-page multi-book fantasy science fiction romance that I'm making. But anyhow, I need to get some water, and I need to go back to work, and I need to say thank you for listening, and anywho, I hate when I say that, but anyhow, I'm going to break that habit too. Maybe I'll do a sigil on that. Breaking the anywho habit. Why not, right? So thank you so much for listening, and I am going to go now and get some water and do more magic and talk about other magic I've done in another vlog. Vlog.